Opportunity, rise and fall with the enemy. They offering immunity, but don't live in our community. So we keep our kids' minds healthy, spit hip-hop free, squeeze juice from my family. Dangerous opportunity, rise and fall with the enemy. They offer immunity, but don't live in our community. So we keep our kids' minds healthy, spit hip-hop free, squeeze juice from my family. Dangerous opportunity, rise and fall with the enemy. They offer immunity, but don't live in our community. So we keep our kids' minds healthy, spit hip-hop free, squeeze juice from my family. Deity personality, foundation theory, awaken to the enemy, only physically free. The V, got rappers B and stingy, a whack copy, hopeless picture of reality. The money's not in sight, sin reason right, days dark as night, opportunity treated life. We right for the picking, jailhouse sitting, we're bitten and we're hitting, but still we rise and fit in the system. We get it, stick and move to get them, like items we're selling, drinking, smoking and chilling. Who's willing to change or increase our range? This level of pain makes the world seem strange and plain view. That funky and new, brand hip hop for you, rappers having a clue. A fool can feel the squeezing, juice mixed with reason. Self-knowledge leading is the harvest disease. Come on, dangerous opportunity, rise and fall, greet the enemy. They offer immunity, but don't live in our community. So we keep our kids' minds healthy, spit hip-hop free, squeeze juice from my family. Dangerous opportunity, rise and fall, greet the enemy. They offer immunity, but don't live in our community. So we keep our kids' minds healthy, spit hip-hop free, squeeze juice from my family. Enemy escaping, lyrical ciphers I made, rotating in play, baby sweet kid, street science state, slave thought break, dangerous move create, nature control, face you overestimate dreams, quick come up schemes, flows the cream in the means, still be heard or seen, your fiends for that, I risk behavior at best, streets live off stress, project the hell to digest, protect your neck, the enemy slick, government and politics, so Roman tricks, slave money benefits,
Overstanding darkness.
Some hit.
We are here again, another rendition of Car Talk. Oh, there goes my peoples. My peoples are coming. There goes Jazzy Fizzle.
What up? What up?
What's good, Jazzy? I just started. I just had a little music in the beginning.
Okay.
Just started. I just want everybody to know, oh my God, we got a great show for you today. This next chapter that we are going into will explain what is going on right now, how we got to where we're at. It's breaking down. Now we need to open up our mind because it's breaking down the different hierarchies of the universes, how the many in the one. And the one universe, how everything is connected through the Father's universe, the Son's universe, and the Mother's universe, or the Shekinah. All right. So what we gonna do first, Jazzy Fizzle? We gonna do a little repeat. We gonna go back and kind of go over what's been going on.
Okay.
Miss Visa, you can charge it to Miss Visa. You need that spiritual love, Miss Visa. You can charge it. I'm telling you, that's how good it is.
Hey, Miss Visa, how you doing?
All right.
How we doing? No, you straight. I was just telling them that we're gonna do a quick review, go over some things. I'm pretty sure once we go over, because y'all have heard it once, you might have some questions, some breakdown and understandings. But the next chapter, 8, build and destroy. It is about to break all this crap down to us. Every chapter builds on itself. Before we get in there, scholarship, the Urantia book, when we're talking about the designs of the universe, galaxies, solar systems, the Father's universe, and how it relates to us, everything is done on the outside for this physical plane to exist. I think we were talking about it, but I don't know if I said that at the center of the universe, at the center of galaxies, there is perfect physical creation. Perfect, meaning they don't die, but they're in the physical form. When they leave that, they come out to the outer atmosphere, these outer galaxies on the realms of darkness, and try to create what they know is possible at the source. Saying that, Urantia book, revealing the mysteries of God, the universe, world history, Jesus, and ourselves. It talks about Jesus's life as a child. It goes all the way through. So there ain't no mystery of what happened. Just saying. For all y'all, Jesus fans out there, I want you to know the truth like I knew it. So moving on. Miss Visa, how are we doing? You have any questions? Anything you want to say?
No questions.
Jazzy?
I'm good, bro.
So let's
I'm
get
just trying.
into it.
I'm
That's
trying to
what you
catch up.
said?
You
I got
got
my
it. I'm
notes
trying to
from
catch up
last
from
week,
last week.
so
What'd you say?
I got my notes from last week. So.
All right. So, mhm. Like I started off before, the keys of the fathers, you have three different, the Trinity, the Father, the Son, the Mother, the Father, the Son, the Spirit, the Father, the Mother, the Spirit, however you want to say it, it's a Trinity, and it exacts the Father, Mother, Son, okay? Sun, moon, star, all that. So we start off with it's breaking down how each thing represents itself. So the Father's universe explain how the mansion worlds, meaning universes, galaxies, solar systems, planetary systems, how they're all connected through the divine creators, creating universes through cosmic pyramids of light. We already went over the cosmic pyramids of light and what they do and how they're at the center of our blood cell. That's that light that goes out when we die.
Okay.
It's in the blood. Your life stream is in that cosmic pyramid of light. When that goes out, that's that deadening that you die. Second universe, the keys to the sun's universe explains how the biological codes of Christ's race are evolved into the image determined by the Father through the paradise sons and others. So it's breaking down how the physical bodies, us, how we learn, how we're programmed, how we're redeemed. Then the last one is the keys to the Shekinah universe, which brings the gifts of the Spirit of the Holy Mother or the Holy Spirit, which is given to the Christ energy, so that spiritual man can work directly with whole light beings, angelic messengers who prepare the righteous of the earth for the council of lights will be established upon the earth at the time of the heavens and the new earth. All right. It's just saying this is a continual cycle that continually goes on every 25,000, every 26,000, every 52,000 years, the precession of the equinox. That's why they keep finding stuff that shouldn't be there when they dig into the earth, because it's been used over and over again. So we got to come off this finite thing of how we think humans are, and we got to open up our mind to be an open-ended universe, to see other universes. Then we can express the Father's love, because now we see how this is just one limitation of what is limitless. We went into entropy and centropy. Centropy is the electrification of matter. What we do in our mind when we think and we get that light bulb, that's an electrification of matter. Centropy is our body and how it's breaking down. All right. We're in an everlasting world, infinite, eternal, and in a decaying world all at the same time. I'm going to keep going. Any questions? I'm going to keep going. I'm just trying to break down real quick where we've been so we can see where we're going. All right. The conversion of light into material form, meaning when our planet was being formed, our world was originally commissioned in the Father's name, but it was intercepted by the fallen masters who applied their law of vibration. So they bring forth the Elohim lords are allowed the prerogative of creating thresholds of advanced intelligence for the seed of the Elohim. However, some of the lords of light revolted and sought not only to commend the Adamic creation to destruction, but to interfere with the next miles. Meaning, so all of the worlds are always commissioned in the name of the Father. When they lose that commission, they become like a cancer cell, because now they need to be redeemed. What's going on now is we're at the end of this state of at this 56,000 years, and our redemption is coming up. We'll talk about that later. I'm just getting everybody into it. Okay. So, last but not least, the keys reveal the overlap between higher evolution and human evolution as man is taken through alpha and omega, meaning there'll be no more life and death. This shit is over. Decay. We're moving on to the next realm of centropy. The scenarios abstract that the projection through glowing geometries of light that's a part of the fire letters to transcribe the knowledge from the Father's universe to the Son's universe to the Mother's universe, and connecting one eternity at a time with other eternity of times, breaking us off this physical plane that we're on. All right. It's already in us. Every brain cell in us has the possibility of connecting with the infinite and eternal, because that pyramid of light that flows through our blood that activates the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, and the hippocampus for higher activation, that's the spiritual download. The cranial nerve, the 12 cranial nerves get activated. That powers it up. Now your chakras, the power comes through the lower chakras all the way up to the high. And now you can visit other worlds in your deep meditation. All right. So it's basically trying to break down everything. So real quick.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
How you get that spark going?
The initial spark. You can get the initial spark by a lot of different ways. You can get the initial spark by you thinking of your daughter doing something, smiling, and be like, thank you, daddy. That's energy. That's a positive love energy that you received. Miss Visa, from your kids, when they know that you're taking care of them, you can think of these instances and use them as power. You can use them in your meditation. You can use them in your spell casting. You can use them in your prayer. That positive energy of you doing something, smiling, feeling good about yourself. Those things are how you activate it.
So once you activate it, that's we're talking alchemy. So how do you transfer it?
Well, once you activate it, now here's where the knowing comes in. We know the root chakra is what? I am that I am. The lower I am connects to the higher I am, or the lower pyramid that faces down connects us to the higher pyramid. And that puts you into the higher realm of higher evolution and in the realm of the physical evolution at the same time. So once you start thinking of these things consciously, knowing, so what we need to do is get more adept with symbols. That's how you're going to make it from one realm to the next, symbols. But the symbols reply to you and what you know and how you adapt them. I go into meditation and I meditate on certain symbols that I know have certain meanings. So I'm going to get the download. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even worry about it. But for people that are up and coming, this is how it's done, through repetition and symbols. You don't have to use trauma necessary, because the opposite of trauma is when you seeing your daughter doing great. When you see your daughter happy as hell, or your family happy, your dad done preached a great sermon, or anything that gives you that, damn, it's good to be alive. I'm glad I'm here to see this.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. It could be from you, part you, all you, it don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But the energy that it creates is what matters. And that feeds us into the next, to take the meditation to the next realm. Now you can see maybe your great-great-grandmother. You got to remember, a lot of entities can't come in contact with us unless they're on a certain level. Even on this human plane, a lot of us on the line right now are on a certain spiritual level, because we're doing things that most would never do, talking about things that most would never talk about. So it's a difference when we're talking about us than when we're talking about someone else, if that makes sense. So the spiritual, the way you activate it, once again, is through yourself, through your deeds. That's why it's hard to activate in a negative person. Because if you think violence and destruction, that doesn't activate it. Only that love activates it. All right, let's keep going. So we are talking about the book of knowledge, keys of Enoch. The book of knowledge, the keys of Enoch.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
One of the books of the Bible that was left out. All right. So first, we're going to quickly go over what we went over before.
Okay.
The fire letters that they were talking about. We live in the many and the one universe. All right. That's key. Why is that key? We live in the many and one universe. Why? Because being a part of an open-ended universe, we are part of an open-ended mind. How can we be a part of an open-ended mind if we don't go back into ourselves and everything we want is on the outside? I'm showing you how we're cut off. Us not being cut, but people get cut off because they don't understand. So let me keep going. Being a part of an open-ended universe, we are a part of an open-ended mind. Being a part of an open-ended mind, we are a part of an open-ended universal image. We look at the first key to see that the many and the one, there are relationships between universe to universe and the universe to the many universe. We're seeing the universe to universe and the universe to the many universes. We also see the overall development required for the higher mind. So what they're breaking off, basically saying is you have universes on top of universes going on certain frequencies. All are connected depending on your frequency. Just because you're at a lower frequency, if you can think higher, you can move up through frequencies and tap into other realms. All right. So, but
That's the
those
problem.
realms would be go ahead.
That's it. That's the issue, is trying to get to the higher all the time, because the negative is already there.
But that's why you have to transform all negative energy back into positive energy. You got to look at all the things that happen in your life as good things because you couldn't be where you're at without it.
Lessons.
You see what I'm saying? Everything's a lesson. If you're still holding on to something, that's trauma. You ain't going anywhere till you deal with your trauma. You can't, because that's the first thing that's going to come up when you get into deeper meditation. Your trauma. And hinder you until you get through it. But what it's saying is there's levels of this on top of levels. So our universe was supposed to go through a level. Our galaxy, our solar system was supposed to jump a level naturally. All right. And it's breaking down how it does it. We're all in a universal image. Okay. So the scroll starts in an open-ended cosmology rather than a closed-ended cosmology. For the first Cree says, the creative mind at the center of the universe is known as the Redeemer and the King. The man, by starting out with his own three-dimensional concept of God, would limit God to his universe. We limit God to our image. What can God do for us? What is it? God is all about us and no one else. Think about it. If we think of God as us in our realm and how we think things right here, right now in the physical form. Not a God that's creating multiple millions, trillions of Earth-like planets with Earth-like beings on it. We're thinking that we're the only one. So when you say open-ended, this is why I went back to the many and the one. We have to open up our image of the universe and what we think it is, how huge it is, how many players there are in it. But we're going to get to that. So saying that, let's move on. When you see the many as well as the one, you recognize the perfect plurality is the most perfect unity. When you have a government and the underlackeys and the military in a school, in a hospital, and they all work together, we can build a society worth something. Same thing with the universe. You have universal messengers a lot assigned to universal stuff, galaxy assigned to galaxy stuff, solar system people assigned to solar system people. You got breakdowns of all between same type stuff, but we just never heard it before. All you've heard is the Father's many mansions, and he does have many mansions. Go ahead, Ms. Visa.
No, I just said right.
Don't get quiet on us today.
Infinite mansions. Go ahead, Jazzy.
I was telling her, don't get quiet on us today. Because
so
I missed a lot last week. Yeah.
I'm catching you up.
Okay.
When you see the many as the one, you recognize the most perfect plurality is the most perfect unity. By going in the splendor of the universes, you recognize a higher plan that can be seen in this universe and at this level of creation. When you can understand that one must go beyond all theologies and cosmologies, which say that God is here or there, for God is neither here nor there. It is seen in all universes because the essence of the creator of everything is beyond all form. We take form for it at this physical level. They take form for it at the solar level. The agencies over the solar system, then the agencies over the making sure everything's working together according to the Father's universe, the Son's universe, and the Mother's or the Spirit's universe. It's all a partnership. All right. And everyone has free will. Let me keep going.
But there's a divine order.
Facts. There's a divine order to there's a divine power. Some can see things others can't see because they ain't on that power level.
Mm.
But it all goes by love.
Mm-hmm.
Your ability to love. Let me keep going. So it says, therefore, we must recognize all universes in order to see the creator. He cannot be seen in your image, in the image of your creative universe, for he is beyond all images. It is beyond all universes, yet all universes collectively function as a brain diagram of the higher order of creation. So all of this put together would look like our brain, his brain, its brain, per se. All this is just going on. This is the power. That's why as above, so below. Okay. The universe has surrounded us is full of love-powered emulations, love-powered radiations, emulations, images, projections, love-powered emulations, and love thresholds into man as the Son of Man will evolve as life begets life and eternal life. So then it's talking about basically grasp not onto the spiritual inversions of light into matter, meaning stop worrying about dying. There is no such thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let that go. It stops you from being the best you can be down here and doing what you need to do. I'll say it again. Grasp not at the spiritual inversions of light into matter or life unto death, but awaken to the vision of light and love and the grace of humanity before the magnificent and the eternal one. The mind can stay where it at. Here it is, Miss Desi, what you was talking about before. The mind can stay where it at and be programmed into a redeemer, a messiah, into any teachers of light, capital L light, conscious light. The mind can stay where it is and program any master such as Osiris or David or the king of Uawave of the energies. The mind can stay where it is and program into any universe, into any galaxy, into any life stations. That means mind is all. We already talked about it. The issue is what type of mind are you trying to tap into? There's higher levels to it. There's the infinite mind, and then we can trickle all the way down to the human mind. You're able to reach that higher mind through what? Mental expansion, meditation, concentration, things of that nature. Let me keep going. Any questions?
Can Kirsten say hi to you, Mental?
Yes, she can.
Come here.
You froze.
Of course she could.
He said you can. Come on. That's Jazz.
Hi.
Oh, how you doing, cutie?
How you doing?
Let me see. Come on this side.
I'm glitching.
You what?
Oh, Miss Gretchen. Okay.
How you doing, Miss Gretchen? Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Thank you for blessing our podcast.
There you go.
There you go.
Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. You enjoying grandma, huh?
How?
I was asking her.
Yes.
You enjoying grandma? There you go.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, like I was saying, so the mind can be in any spot, in any space, in any time. All right. So it goes on. The higher orders of intelligence understand that Messiah is where the redemptive energies of the body of light are manifested. When they're manifested within you, you are part of a collective Messiah. It's just letting you know the Christ energy. Once you can get it and acquire it, you become a part of a higher collective energy where you can do more because now you're tapped in on a higher level. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And if everyone knew that, then it would be less crime, it would be less killing, it would be less everything. If you understand that you're part of the more of the collective, that you're of the all.
Right.
Because the mind is all and the universe is mental. So if trying to get my hands right here. So if everyone was tapped into that, into that love frequency, then I feel, me per se, that once you a general, that it would be a less of a lot of things, but it's just that a lot of people, it's like you said, the 5%ers, the less than the 5%ers are the only ones that's really tapped in, and it's because we were robbed.
But
You've
we
been
were
programmed,
robbed before we came down here. We got
and
tricked.
then you got programmed.
Then we got programmed. But the inner us was just sleep. You got to remember, what's in us must awaken. That's why the whole Doom saga, the sleeper must awaken. That represents the sleeper inside of you.
Mm.
It must awaken. Why? Because time starts to make it be like that. That's why we get into these last days. So hold on, let me keep going.
Keep going.
So the
Remind me
creative
to tell y'all
mind.
about
So go ahead.
Remind me before we leave to talk about Neo in the Matrix. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. Go ahead.
So the creative mind of ete asha ete, or I am that I am, or I shall be, I shall be, is a constant evolving, a constant remaking of every order of creation, meaning at our lowest level, we are still transforming. But this transformation runs off thought, what we are paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Is it women, drugs, money, cars, things of that nature? Or is it knowledge yourself, improving yourself, trying to get us out of the state we're in? What are we paying attention to?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the third key tells us that creations that survive must desire more than eternal life. So the willing to be wanting just to live is not enough. They must gather light, capital L light, conscious light of the living, conscious living. What they're saying is now we must gather light of the mind, the spirit, and the soul into us. This is going to change us so now we have faith. What is faith? Substance of things not seen, evidence of things hoped for. We are going to see a whole reality that no one is seeing. We can picture a world of love with no hate, a galaxy, a universe, everyone working with each other, where some people cannot. If there ain't someone fighting for material goods or killing each other for what they got, that's not a world. Every movie you've ever seen, as far as television or Hollywood, the government program is always throughout the universe. What are they doing? Fighting and killing each other over something.
Mm-hmm.
Things, stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even have a program where a future where no one's not killing each other. Everything is alien abduction, aliens coming in to take over. They can't even see that far because they lack the love, capital L love, necessary to be conscious of such a thing. And when you can, that puts you on a certain level of thought or mind energy or soul power. Soul power is just conscious energy, power. Let me keep going. All right. If you look at the original Hebrew scripture, you will find that man is made into the image and similitude. Into indicates evolution is a continual and gathering of light, capital L light. Once again, whenever you say capital L light, that's conscious light, meaning you're learning something consciously that you need. Okay? And here we go with the into, not just the image, but the image and the similitude. Okay? So the image is not enough. Image will die with the creative pattern of life. You need the similitude of the space-time continuum of light, conscious light, your conscious light, to regenerate that image. This is why man of light, the atom cadmium, the light bodies that are wrapped around us that allow us to go into different realms. This is why the man of light, the atom cadmium, incarnates into the image of the atomic species and not something lower. Once you got that soul, that conscious light, that spiritual entity, that dark light consciousness, you can only come back as human in the atomic species in the image of the Father and not anything else. So that kills the rumor of, I was a tiger and then I was a flea and then you may have been those things, but once you come back in a human, you can only come back as a human because it's a whole energy vortex.
So the reincarnation part, that's breaking it down as far as that.
Trying to let you know, help you understand how you come back and why you come back. The
Do
image
you?
is semitude.
So what if you were so low vibrational? Will you come back as a lower, or you still come back as?
You can only come back as you are before because you didn't learn anything or better.
Mm, okay.
Once you get to this realm, this part,
Mm-hmm.
there is no, once again, there is no back.
Mm,
We say this all the time in spiritual. There is no going backwards. There's only
mm.
forward.
So if you came forward through, if you want to say evolution in that aspect, are
Uh-huh.
you still connected consciously to the things that you came from?
You're never
You're,
disconnected.
so you know how some people have like with your spirit animal, this, that, or whatever.
Mhm.
Is that part of the whole concept of where you connected? Is because that's where you came from and they're helping you to move forward? That's what I'm saying. Is there still a connection there, or is that lost?
The connection only builds, it's never lost. As you get more and more conscious, you get more and more conscious of the living aspect of the God in everything.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
And
what I'm
then you can
asking.
actually see yourself as the fly, see yourself as the pig, see yourself as the shark, the horse, whatever.
So
That's why
your
you don't fit. Oh, go ahead, Miss Visa.
so you said the spirit animal. So your spirit animal or your familiar can also be seen as another aspect of you.
Facts.
That's what
Thank
I.
you.
That's
Thank
that's
you,
what I was
Miss
asking.
Visa. Absolutely. Thank the spirit for talking through you. Yes, that's what I should have said, but I didn't have the words. But yes, it is other aspects of you. You represent every shark, every bear, every squirrel, every horse, every bird. Everything out here is already in us.
That's why it's the thing of live and let live. If it's not bothering you, let it go.
Live and let live. It's a part of the cycle. It's a part of the plan. It's all needed.
So if you killing something, even in that aspect, for nothing to gain, like rather it's food, shelter, or so you just really killing off another part of where you came from. It's killing off.
In the Urantia book, it had Jesus's childhood. Jesus never
Ooh.
fought. He never killed anything. Nothing. Docile, meek. In fact, he used to get bullied, and because he was bullied, another big dude stood up for him because he wouldn't fight anyone. He wouldn't hit anyone.
Mm,
You got to read it. The shit is great. I'm telling
mm,
you. The
mm,
science is out there for everything that you want to know about everything. It's
mm.
just that it's not given to us in a ready-made format for Jazzy. No, Jazzy got to get the specs and pieces from this book. Then we got to piece it over from this book and this. Then we got to have the spirit of truth in us, unite everything so it makes sense.
So I want to ask this, and then I want you to still move on.
Okay.
Um, the like so as far as like if a bee or fly in your house, that concept, or spider or whatever, killing it or letting it go. That simple. I'm just trying to get
I
to the
mean,
simple.
a mosquito, same thing.
Okay, right,
I mean, you
mosquito.
got some people that will not hurt a fly.
Right.
Nothing. They won't hurt anything. If the mosquito lands on him, well, he got him some good blood. Good job. But
Or
I
do you
won't, you know what I'm saying?
or do you put yourself in a vibration where none of that affects you, where it doesn't come around you? And
If you
that's
don't like it, you can do something. See, but this is the conscious part of life. What you just said. Oh, if I don't want mosquitoes and things coming around me, I put my certain vibration out so they won't come around me.
mm,
Mhm. I
But
was
most of us
told,
don't think like that. What'd you say,
mm,
Miss Visa?
I was told, like, say if you even got you see a roach in your house or something, you speak to that the queen or you just visualize that, hey, I don't want you coming to my house.
Not my house.
And then and that's how you can put your energy out there to change those circumstances because you
that
connect to everything.
that's what I'm asking. That's exactly what I'm asking. It's down to the slightest. Like if you like you said, mosquitoes. You go outside at night. You're trying to have something get together, whatever. You speak to that, and
But
then you just.
remember, everything is mental.
Hmm.
Everything vibrates and have a frequency. Everything
Hmm.
can be spoke. See, someone told us we couldn't speak to insects, animals. cells,
But from the
our
beginning,
organs.
that's if you read the Bible, that I guess that's what Adam was doing when he was naming them. And so what would be the difference now, besides being programmed to think that you can't?
Well, the problem is Adam and Eve was a subset of a
Hmm.
species that were already here. Remember, we
Right.
just read about how the fallen, how they came down and started
Hmm.
intermixing, and that ended in disaster. It
Hmm.
started another program for humanity, which ended in disaster.
Disaster. Right. Each
So
time it
you got
got
to
worse and
think of
worse.
right because they were doing it the wrong way. Everyone was doing it their way and not following the plan of the Father. The plan of the Father is
Okay.
perfect.
Hmm.
It's perfect. For us to realize its perfection or to follow its perfection, we have to be perfected. Does that make sense? Our
Absolutely.
consciousness, our
Right.
energy level.
Hmm.
And the perfection is in the redemption. The redemption is already in us. It's like a switch that says, turn me on, baby. That's all you got to do. But most of us are so far away. We think we know everything. We've got people that still believe. Think about it. From where we're at right now, someone that believes, because we know belief is can be 100% wrong.
Hmm. Belief would get you killed. Remember, that's
But
what.
belief, thank you, Jazzy. Belief will get you killed.
Hmm.
All right, let me
Go ahead.
quickly
Yeah,
get
keep
going. Then
going.
we're going
Keep
to move
going,
on.
Ken.
All right, so this is why the Adamic species of light is continuously reincarnates in the image of the Adamic species and not a lower evolution. Without the semitude, so now we're breaking down the semitude. Without the semitude, the synchronicities, the patterns of the incarnations repeating the light function, and the light frequency, the same light function, the same light frequency, the image would be here and die like a flash in the darkness. But the semitude can hold the consistency of light so that other evolutions can come and read and feed off its evolutions can come into its image and feed off its image. So once you get the semitude, you're projecting a light that people can see and feed off of, even if they don't even know, because you're projecting an energy from higher evolution that's coming through you into physical evolution.
Mhm.
That's your halo. That halo ain't doing nothing but transducing the light from the heavens into the physical energy so that you can use it.
Mhm.
Let me keep going. We are not in the image of the world, for we are not in the image of the world, but in the image of higher evolution. We are not in the semitude of the world, but in the semitude of higher evolution. Higher evolution is the immunization of the living universe, is a part of the universal mind, which can be here as well as any other universe at the same time. There can be multiple incarnations of higher creation. There can be multiple programming through capital L light manifestations without the physical form. So we were already evolving solely, spiritually. Before we came down here, there was evolution on those levels.
Mhm.
All right. So there's multiple programming through the light functions without physical form. Why? Light is both image and semitude. Capital L light. Capital L light is both energy and matter. So without conscious light, nothing can exist. That would be the first stage of the tree of life. Omnipresence. I'm everywhere at once because without my consciousness, no one can be conscious.
Mhm.
Make sense?
Mhm. Absolute.
All right. The species that have remained intact throughout these ages because us, black people with the light, have remained intact throughout these ages because there is an invincible projection of divine creation within negative fields of dissolution and abomination with their love of God and their inner self devotion to the conscious growth and evolution. So it's saying right now, when we come down here as lords of light, when we come down here as teachers of the people, in us is a piece of that dark consciousness that darkness out there that cannot be destroyed, cannot be touched, cannot be tampered with. The best thing they could do is kill the physical body. If they could do that,
And then it only transfers,
it only
transforms.
transfers. I come back even stronger until my job is done. All right. So that was the first chapter that we quickly. Well, that wasn't quick, but I'm gonna get better. We gonna move quicker through this. So the next key. The keys of the living biophysical universe are the living light pyramids of life existing within every structure, within every field of creation. So, before I go on, anything jazzy, Miss Visa? Nope. All right. If we are to go beyond our three-dimensional set of creation, we must go through a three-dimensional star field of energy into a multi-dimensional field of pyramidal light energy. Each pyramid of light is energized with the UA Wavhe's eye at the center of the pyramid. That's where you get the dollar pyramid from. The pyramid in Giza, where they got that eye in the center. All right. They ain't gonna say where it's from. This is where they got it from. The Book of Knowledge. That's why it's on the dollar. Why? Because it represents thrones and dominions, powers and energies to control someone. They don't even know. That's where you get that pyramid with the eye on it. That's why it's so prevalent. Because that's UA Wavhe's conscious eye looking through the pyramid of time. Let me keep going. The pyramid of light is each pyramid of light is energized with UA Wavhe's eye at the center. This is a cosmological constant and enables every realm of intelligence to be reprogrammed into a higher level of creation when they go through the pyramidal energy field of creation. Thus, the pyramid is the eternal programming of the conscious eye and is with you at all times and is working with you at every level of evolution. So it's working with us right now, activating us to do what we're doing on the realm of low energy.
So
right here, right now.
Tapping into that, how?
Right.
So every level. You said every level.
Every level.
Even in your sleep state.
Every level.
Or your lower self, you also
every level. You are correct.
Right. I just wanted to say that.
Like your lower self, when you're sleeping, when you're daydreaming, when you're having fun, when you're bored, when you're in pain, when you're in love, every level.
How does one recognize that?
That's where the consciousness comes in. That's the conscious elevation. You can only, like we say, we can close our eyes, we can still see, hear, touch, feel, and taste. Right? Most people don't realize that until you demonstrate it. Put that Coca-Cola can or this lighter and say lighter in your mind, but don't move your mouth, and you can hear the word lighter. And then I'd be like, well, who's saying it and who's hearing it? You can see a lighter. Who's saying it and who's hearing it?
So
I mean, who's seeing it and recognizing it?
So that's where a lot of people get stuck. How do you communicate there?
Well, I would first give them examples of how they're more than the meat suit. Help them to see, hey, if you close your eyes right now and you picture a Coca-Cola can, you can see it, you can taste it, you can hear the tss when you open the can, when you open the can. So it's letting you know that you're in a world, all of us in a world and not of it. Now, how we function with the universe around us depends on the meat suit. The further we are away from the divine energy, 9 ether energy, hair that grows up to the planet and goes down into 6 ether energy, fur, that 6 ether energy has a 6 ether consciousness. So it's more about anger, death, decay, conquering, power, lust, where 9 ether is more about love, forgiveness, learning, relearning, unlearning, all that.
I had recently I was explaining meditation, and what you just described is basically the same thing how one of the teachings that Brother Panic, he used the apple, and then he was just saying close your eyes and you could see the apple. You can know what color it is. You know what it feels like. You know what it sounds like when you bite into it. You know what it tastes like. You even know what it smells like. So the thing is, you halfway there. But for the ones that want to know how do you communicate with that part right there?
It's you. How do you communicate with you?
No,
You
I'm
do
just
it all
saying.
the time. No, we do it all the time. You
Mm-hmm.
let's not be silly about this shit. We talk to ourselves all the time, and a
Mm-hmm.
voice answers us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But most aren't gonna say, "Yeah, I talk to myself." No, man, I talk to myself. Oh, that's the best
Mm-hmm.
conversations I be having. Me with
Mm-hmm.
myself, debating shit
Mm-hmm.
with myself.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people keep it in their mind. Sometimes, like a lot. With me, I find myself like when I'm driving, I don't really care because they can't tell if I'm on the phone or not. You know what I'm saying? So I do a voice verbally to myself out loud. Sometimes you don't want to be in the grocery store. Out in public. You can, however, I find it better like when I'm in the shower or when I'm driving or even when I'm home alone. Those are good feelings to go ahead and express and to get to better know yourself. But for the unlearned, so it's not you, I mean me, you or Miss Visa, it's for people that are maybe watching and they saying, how do you tap
How
in?
do you tap
That's
in? No, I'm with you. I'm
that's
with you. I
that's
knew that's what you asked.
okay, because the thing is just that's I try to explain it, but sometimes they're like, well, I hear what you're saying, but I need a better from you to go
Well,
ahead
see,
and
well, you got to remember, if they're not ready for this experience, they can't go through it. It can't happen. If
Mhm,
you're not ready to be like, something, I'm done with all this foolishness,
mhm,
this craziness. I need to find out what's going on, what's in me. It's something that happens on the inside of us, not a decision we kind of make because of, oh, I ain't got no money this week. Oh, I got a flat tire. You know what I'm saying, Jazzy? This is something
mhm,
more serious. When you made your decision,
mhm. I was tired. You know what I mean? So that's what I hear a lot too, like from people. They said, I'm tired, man. I just
tired. And then this is the most refreshing, the best, freshest water, the best fruits and vegetables that you can ever have on this realm.
and then to the best part is like when you actually get to see it working for you.
Yes. When that faith
Like
starts paying off and you see it and you
because
looking
like
around and no one else sees it but you.
last week, I just want to tell a quick story.
Go ahead.
Like when I couldn't get on because I was getting my vehicle somewhat repaired because my guy couldn't do it. So someone told me like, hey, I know someone. So I went, and then that's why I couldn't even hear because he really didn't know what he was doing, in my opinion. Okay, so he put it back, and then my brakes was worse. So I'm driving, leaving, um, and then I'm on my way coming back home, and then I'm riding down a road that really you couldn't pass. It was like a two lane to get to a main road. So what happened? I tried to scoot over. I already had my hazard lights on. So I try to get over as much as I can to go ahead and let them pass. And then you know how people get anxious and then they riding up on you and they get
Mm-hmm.
mad and whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
this person, they actually pressed down on the gas, flew by me. And I tell you, when it looked like I was watching a movie, I've seen them in my mirrors and then I seen them come around me. And then I was just like, and all I could do is just sit there and look. And it was like a slow motion
Slow
that they
motion.
just
Yep.
they went so far, they went around me and then they got it and then hit an oncoming car, boom, and it was so loud. I was just like, wow. And then by me not even having the brakes, um I was able to stop, before running into, to someone else. However, when I got out, I passed by the car and then I looked and I didn't see anybody. So all I seen was airbags, throughout the whole car. So when I passed by, I seen a girl, she was squat down on the ground. So went up, pulled over, and when we pulled over, I get out and then I my first thing is like I gotta take pictures of this. Everyone's ran over to go ahead and help them up to the to go sit down on this little like restaurant front. However, when I went and looked at those cars, I put it in our text group and I posted on Facebook. It was unbelievable that they were still alive. I mean, the girl that was, she had to be no more than 30, but she still had the bumper on her car. And then the car, when they impact, she was driving a black Audi. She hit a blue mini SUV. The car went up like this on the sides and then came back down. And then
Mm.
and then just the impact. So I was just sitting there, I was just like, wow, and then so after I sat there and then the police came, and then I remembered that I was like, wow, I don't have my license with me.
Ouch.
Even though I'm a valid driver, you know what I'm saying? The thing was though, I didn't want to go ahead and then be questioning, and you know how they like, then they'll try to go ahead and put something on me. I was like, I was in the right. You know what I'm saying? I had my hazard lights on. This person speeds around me. I didn't leave the site because it didn't involve me.
Yeah,
So that was my first thing. I heard spirits like, you know what, bro? Just take
go
your
ahead,
ass on
go.
home. Take your ass on home, because you know what? You out here, and then I'm in the suburbs, so it's just like they're trying to find anything. So I was just like, you know what? I'm glad y'all okay. I bounced. You know what I'm saying? And I felt good in my heart doing so. But the thing about it it's just that when you actually see that it works for you, you know what
Right.
I mean? That armor protection to go around you,
And
and
do you
then
know what happened when the time slowed down?
it looked like it slowed down.
No,
You know
nigga,
what I
it
mean?
did slow
Yeah.
down. It didn't
It
look
did.
like nothing.
Yeah,
It did
yeah.
It
It
slow
was
did.
it
down.
was like a movie, man. I'm telling you.
That's because you shifted in conscious time zones. You took yourself up to a higher level. The spirit runs faster than the physical. So if you're in the spirit, shit in the physical be flying by because it runs at a whole higher frequency that moves way faster than this. The physical is a trickle down effect of what's already going on in the spiritual.
Mhm,
Mm,
mhm, mhm.
All right? Don't get
mm-hmm.
it twisted. We just said that everything is connected. When they said there's cosmic cleaning going on in the house of the Father, they talking about the house of the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. Everything is getting cleansed.
And the first thing when I got back in my car, I still had my hazards on, and I just drive off slowly. And then I heard the spirit said, "Now, what lesson did you learn from this?"
Mm.
So the best thing, and then I was just like, patience. Because if that person would have just waited about 20 more seconds, we would have been on an open road, and they could have passed me and had two other lanes to go drive as fast as they want. But yet, by being impatient, going around and then hitting the car, now she's late for wherever she was going. And then not only that, she ended up, she lost her car and she caused somebody else to lose their car.
Mm.
And the guy that was driving the other car, he was yelling, I just brought this car.
Mm.
You know, I was just like, wow, just a few minutes of just patience, where you just don't feel like, so if it's taking a moment to go ahead and leave earlier for where you need to go, or just slowing down the process in life, because there is no rush. What's going to be is going to be regardless. So, I mean, sometimes we sit up here and we feel like you can rush the process. There's no rush. You have to
No
go
rush.
through it. You have to go through.
No rush. But what
And
it's
that
trying to
that
show you is how there are spiritual agencies intact in you that protect you for these things.
Mhm.
It's trying to tell what is you know what the lesson should have been? No one can kill you, nigga, until I'm ready for you. Period. I
Because
don't
you
care
know what,
who it is.
that could have got ugly. Because you know what I'm saying. Like by her, I didn't even, like my brakes. When I was driving, I had them all the way to the ground. That's how, you know what I'm saying. So in order for that to happen, and then I was able to drive around and still not go ahead and have to go ahead and
Boom. So I take that back. What is the lesson? Your
I
life
that.
is worth more than them goddamn breaks that you went out on the highway because you thought going to work was more important than your goddamn life.
Mm,
That spirit is telling me now.
mm,
Nigga, any other way, if the spirit wasn't with you, you would have been dead.
mm,
Or not dead, let me not say that. You would have been in an accident.
mhm,
Because you know your brakes wasn't top notch from the get-go. It
mm, mm,
ain't worth it. It's
And then the
not.
first thing it said is like, you know what? Don't even try to attempt to go to work tonight. Forget it.
So
And
you were
you know
told.
what? You can remember to say thank you
Yeah, yeah.
to those who acted out for you, and the active
Mm,
participants in that
mhm,
lesson. They got a lesson to learn from it, and they also was the active participants to show you that. It's like,
mhm.
hey, this is already this is a done deal right here. Let's put on the best show we can do.
Im-
For him, for Jazzy.
immediately. So now, I told my daughter, I said, we're not gonna miss a Sunday. We stand before the altar. We've been burning our money, and I said, I just want you to understand that this is a practice to go ahead and unlock certain things in your mind. You know what I'm saying? That we're giving thanks in reference to. I said, I want to go ahead and start you, so you can go ahead and tap in, you know what I'm saying, and do this. You know what I'm saying? If you want to thank God, thank God. I said, but also I still want you to go ahead and experience, ancestry. You choose when you get older, if this is not for you or whatever. However, she came in teaching me these things.
It's over for her, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Either they're gonna get down with what she's with, or she won't have no friends. And either way, she's fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Either way, she's fine with it. Caleb taught me that. That nigga said, I don't need anyone to be happy. I'm good by myself. And I was never relying on other people, but I love people. I love the attitudes. Even bad people, good people. It don't really matter. I just always loved the whole. My whole thing was, I wonder how they got to be the way they are. And because of that, I never held any ill feelings towards anyone. And I think that's what helped me to progress a lot faster than most people when it comes to this spiritual stuff. I thought everyone loved each other. I'm gonna be real. I was that naive. I thought everyone cared about each other. I thought, you know what I'm saying? They may make mistakes, but they really care on the inside. Right.
Hey, I tell you, I was like 38 years old when I just was telling my son this the other day. I was like, I was going to the barbershop and I was taking him and I said, you know what? He was saying something and I said, son, you know what? It wasn't until I was like 38 years old to go ahead and realize that everybody don't think like me.
Facts.
I was like, I learned that late in life because I always thought everybody thought like me.
That's how we're trained to think through elementary, high school, college, job, everything. That's how we're trained to think.
And you know what I learned? My villain in my movie was the one who told me that. You got to listen to your villain. You know, my villain told me, she said, Visa,
that's Brother Panic. That sounds like something Brother Panic would say, because I remember him saying it. I mean, when I hear my teachers talk, there's certain things I never forget. And that's one of them. He said, always listen to the villain.
Yeah, my villain said, everybody not like you. And I didn't get it. I was a teenager when she told me that. I didn't understand. I was just a teen. But she used to tell me, everybody not like you. As I got older, I realized what she meant.
And I heard it all my life. I just never really grasped the concept until one day I was just like,
naive.
Damn it, man.
At least y'all got that everybody ain't like you. I was called crazy, bro. You're going to be crazy, man. You need to stop.
Ahead of your time.
My mama. No, sir. You need to stop, bro. You reading way too many books, bro. You need to cut it out. They thought knowledge was almost a bad thing. And if I was a crazy maniac, I could understand what they said, but they knew me.
But just think look at all the people that really read books. They kind of weird. If you notice the people that if you see them, I mean, they're into their own thing. It's weird.
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
No. I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but I'm just saying the average person, if you just seen somebody that all they do is every time
read.
You ride,
they like books more than people. See, but I was never like that. The knowledge was a burning in my soul. I mean, I felt it in my heart. One book, another book. I mean, I'm eating these bitches. I'm just digesting them. The spirit is breaking it down. I'm like, oh, I got to share this. I got to share it. That's how Overstanding Darkness came out. I had so much knowledge locked up. It was like, yo, man, let's give these people a shortcut. I'm gonna give you a shortcut.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't got to go through all the shit I had to go through. These are the basic principles you need. This is how you apply them to yourself. If you do them, they will work. Period. Point blank.
And that's like when I told you, Miss Visa, I was like, a lot of people wasn't um privileged to go ahead and have like you be with Panic. And I tell you like the same thing. Like I wasn't a lot of people aren't privileged like I am to have my spiritual brother mental because actually the everything that I learned, took me to the next level. Some people they can charge you for this. You see what I'm saying? It's just like if they not operating in the spirit properly, you know what I'm saying? It's like, let me monetize it or whatever. But this brother was just like, yo, don't worry about it. I got you. But from when I came in from here, then I could see where I am now and looking back just like 5 years ago or whatever. And I'm just saying, like, wow, I learned so much. And that's why when I came, I was just like, you know what? I was like, mental. I said, I heard the spirit, man, and it told me it's like you need to give a mental and you need to go ahead and be under somebody, and it's just like he's like, bro, you don't need me, this, that, or whatever. And I was like, he's like, I said, listen, bro. He said, you good where you are? I said, no. I said, for some reason, I said, no matter what you saying, I said, spirit is telling me that I need to go ahead and power up with somebody that has a lot of knowledge, and that
I was just gonna give him the books because I knew he was a reader that he would read. I mean, you don't need me. Let me hook you up with these books. You'll be straight. I wasn't thinking that you didn't. I don't know. At that point,
let me give you something to be aware of, Jazz, with your relationship with mental. I gotta say this. To give you something. My relationship with Panic, y'all have the same relationship. So it's like I was his human friend, but also a spiritual friend. Because see, I'm the one that he used to want people to come around just to do fuckery with. Because he was always, I just want to play. He actually was paying, like, he played a lot. So I just want to play. I just want to, so
that's
he
me.
ran jokes.
My wife hates that.
Dumb shit, He wasn't a drinker and a smoker. I'm gonna tell you that now. So but he would just cut up. And that's what he wanted to do. But at the same time, it was doing something for him because always studying, always reading. He was a genius. So it was just like, somebody who had that level of, he was like, y'all, you're like super smart, like intelligent. It's
genius.
Sometimes the stuff that he was on.
Scholarship. He read.
Say like we was in New Orleans and we walking down Bourbon Street. He was like, oh, you don't see those spirits up there? You don't see this? You don't see that? You don't see that? He was like that. He was into that. He was not just someone great. He actually was spiritual. He actually knew his magic. He actually knew his shit. So it was like, it wasn't nothing fake and nothing, but at the same time, my lesson. So this for you two, because of Panic transition, I felt like a lot of times some days I was sad because I felt like I missed something. It wasn't enough. I wasn't ready. So for you to understand, it's also the fun times you have with mental. If anything was to happen and you feel like you lost your teacher, you lost your best friend, you lost the love of your life as a friend, whatever. Everything, nothing is lost. Like he was saying, nothing is lost. Your relationship with him. I'm coming to awareness of that now because I'm still going through my grief. I never experienced so much grief with anyone, not even my dad. My dad passed. That has taken me so long to deal with this because he gave more to me than both of my parents did spiritually to get me free from my parents, from my programming. And that's what's the thing. So you two remind me so much of that. So when you as you go on and y'all, I know y'all two gonna stay tight like y'all tight. Told me about you, but never think that anything is ever lost between y'all ever. And everything he teaches you, whether y'all just joking, just playing around, just enjoy that moment as much as you can because trust me, it's gonna be.
That's why I tell him every day when I hang up, what I say, I said, I love you, my brother. I tell him, you know what I'm saying? I tell him every time I talk to him, because we started out, I've known him like for more than half of my life, right? Like when I was in my 20s. Okay. So, but the thing about it, you know, like you said, when he first, let me, you know what, we got time for this later. Let's finish with the, you know what I'm saying? Because we'll keep
You
going
know
on
what?
and on.
No, that was something. No, keep going, Jazzy.
Brother
Keep
Spirit,
going.
Okay,
We
okay,
got time. Don't cut the
okay,
spirit off.
okay,
I'm
Yeah,
with
okay,
you, Miss Visa. Don't cut the
okay,
spirit off.
okay.
yeah.
So, okay, so you know, like, I've known him, and then like when I was doing music, you know, when I was
Right.
had the recording studios, when I was working with Jodeci, Devontae, and all, you know, so we came on that through my cousin. You know, him and my cousin, they are like this. I mean, they like really, really brothers. I mean, they think alike, they talk alike, they act alike.
He
I
went
mean,
to his brother, and his brother was like, knew you need to talk to. Come on, go talk to Mike, bro. Don't come to me.
yeah.
Don't talk to Mental. You know, he got all that all day, bro.
I mean, so I followed them from their little rap group, you know, and then he was spitting the game to me then. But the whole thing about it is just like what I tell everybody when you turn in a radio station and you're trying to dial in, and sometimes you hear that background noise, all that. So I heard voices in there, but I couldn't get the message. It wasn't until one day I just tuned into the channel,
The
and then
frequency.
everything he said, it was just like boom. I was like,
Boom. Mhm.
wow. I was like, man, what was I doing? Why didn't I hear this? You know, and then it just changed my life. You know, I mean, this is going back to the 90s. And then that little bit by him planting seeds, you know what I'm saying, going on and on, even though like 2007, that's when my first thing when I lost my job as a supervisor at JetBlue. And the funny thing about it, I had nothing to do with that, you know, and then I still am puzzled till this day how I got lost my job on my day off. You know, so but immediately that made me it took me down a dark path. I mean, I lost my car, I lost my townhome, I lost my job. I was stuck in Columbus, Ohio, and I had no one. It was just me and my son. However, we made it. You know, we made it. And
Right.
then from that point on, and then I started the conspiracy theories. That was the first thing to start. And then I already knew that I was different. You know what I'm saying? So like around 2010, 11, that's when the little antennas really started going head. Like 2014, I was in the Stones, you know, trying to follow my path and energy and everything. So by the time when I hooked up with Mental, I already had my altar set up. I already burnt candles, did the sage thing, you know. So I went through the steps. But when I tell you, when I sat there and I talked to my brother, and then it was just like clear. And then that's what led me when it was like, you know what? Now it's time to take it from here to here. Now you ready. And it's just like, so that is very true. When a student is ready, the teacher will
Wish,
appear.
that's like what I'm saying. Back to what Mitch was saying and leading to the book. When you're in the darkness, you say you had nothing. That's when you see the light.
Mhm.
Boom.
You can have nothing. You be at your last and going through everything. It's just like you have nobody to help you, and
Mhm.
everything that could go wrong happens. Seem like
It goes
that's
wrong.
when you see the light.
Everything.
That's when
That's a law.
you realize
That's
who's
the one that hurt.
around you. You realize some toxic things you may have done. You start seeing all kind of stuff in that darkness,
Mhm.
and that's what we talked about last week. The entropy and the syntropy actually
Yes.
that's tied into that when you're in the lowest form and things are not working together.
Everything's falling
It's
apart.
like,
Entropy.
then when you get everything together, there's syntropy.
But
Then
what
you
puts
see
it together is your mind changes. You change what's going on. You're changing how you see things. You're changing how things are affecting you. You're starting to energize yourself through this positive thought of, oh no, I'm gonna make it through. I got people in my corner. I'm gonna do this. Even if I didn't, I'm gonna make it through. And that syntropy, where does it happen? In the mind. That's a creator act. That's a goddess act. That's a God act.
See, I missed that part last week. So go over that real quick before you go into the other part. The
Well, we just
centropy.
went, didn't we just go through it? Or
yeah,
we
we
didn't
just
go
did
through
that. That's what he said at first. That's what
Okay,
he
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
when we were talking
Right.
about
Okay,
entropy,
okay,
no, we didn't go through it. It's further on in the chapter. We were just
okay.
talking about how everything runs off of centropy. Centropy is the love radiation that runs everything. That's the electrification of matter,
Okay.
meaning powering up matter to be light, to be the highest form of what it is.
Mhm.
because we just read light is both energy and you know what I'm saying, and light, and it's both matter and energy. It's all of it. So when you can amp up matter to be more powerful, they call that centropy.
Okay.
Which the mind works off of. Our minds works off. Our soul works off. The spirit works off. The physical body works off centropy, the breaking down of matter. Us getting old, bodies breaking out, bones giving out. But what they don't tell you is there really is no thing of us getting old when every so many months we have a whole new body cellularly because everything gets shed. Bones rebuild itself, muscles rebuild itself, eye fabric, everything. We're breaking down as we build up, just like the universe. The problem is we don't know it. The reason people be like, oh man, you're too old, you ain't got to know. I got gray, but it's not majority because I'm healthy. My inner me is as healthy as the outer me that you see. And that's what most people can't relate to. Everything you see on me is a reflection of what's going on the inside of me. That's why I act the way I act. I do what I do. And it is a blessing. And I thank my higher self and the entities that were responsible for taking care of me. You've done a fabulous job. Thank you, my guardian angels. Thank you. And they've done such a great job. I would go through everything I had to go through again.
I heard that on last week. Somebody said, would you want to go through everything that you went through? Somebody had said that. And then you was like, you know what? I think it was Mr. Groovology when you was telling him, he was like,
no, I think it was on Miss Desi show. Yeah, it was Miss Desi show.
Okay, it's Miss Desi.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm gonna go through everything again. So if I miss one step, I won't be where I'm at right now.
Okay.
And I like where I'm at. I know. I don't believe. I know, and that's an energy of its own. Just getting there, just wanting to get there.
Knowing without reasonable doubt, without questioning.
No matter what you see, hear, taste, smell, or touch, you know. You don't need any senses to know. Ain't that something? You get all these senses to gather information, but when it comes down to knowing, it's on the inner you.
That's kind of,
I can't make this up.
You know what? That's that right there is kind of tricky because, well, what happens is like when you get in conversations, like say with a religious person or someone that has knowledge of something else, you can understand where they are, but they don't understand where you are. So it's like you have to sit there, either stop the conversation or just allow them to go ahead and freely talk. No, and you just sit there and listen.
If you're on a higher level than them, you could always lower your level.
That's what I'm saying.
They can't bring their level higher. That's not going to happen.
Right.
So you got to go down. Okay, so what do you believe? Then they tell you what they believe. Then you go off they believe. Remember, when you're in the realm of knowing, it doesn't matter what the person believes.
Right.
I'm in the realm of truth.
Right.
Truth dictates all that. You see what I'm saying? So you don't care where they're at, how they're at, when they're at. You help them where they're at to get to the next. Well, you know what hurt me when I was in this, but then I learned this. You know, the letter Y on Jesus is only 200 years old. So the name of who you're saying must be Jesus is really Yahshua. And if that's the case, no one is really saying the real name. Then it says in the scriptures, you must know my name.
So, but I can say in the last 5 years, you know, the Black Israelites that has came on the play, I'd say maybe in the last 5 or 10.
But they're still trapped in the religious motif nonetheless.
But they dropped it. That's when
they dropped the science, yeah.
And so what happened now, the church organization now they came up to that part too, where they was like, okay,
they got to get better.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They like, okay, you're right. There's it's Joshua or Isaiah. They going ahead and because you can't keep teaching the same thing that you taught in the 90s when evolution of not knowing and knowledge has gotten here. So now it's like, okay, we have to go ahead and make sure that we
move up too.
Yeah, because if you don't,
this is why we are now at the Book of Knowledge. Okay, because we trying to move past. And like Miss Visa always said, kill them with scholarship. Kill them. They can't touch you. Nothing they can do. All right, let's keep
Go
going.
ahead.
So
Keep going.
the Brotherhood of Light. So before I get going, I'm trying to help you understand. Look at all these brotherhoods. All right, Brotherhood of Light, the Elohim, the Paradise Sons, the Council of Light. All right, all these are different entities that have a different job within this whole universal structure. And this shit is large and infinite. And most of their jobs, believe it or not, this shit is going to sound funny, is to make sure that Earth-like planets are right. Because it's vital in our development. From being infinite and eternal, never dying, to being able to die, to know what it feels like, to conquer it. Remember, time doesn't exist. It means nothing. We're in the infinite and eternal, so it doesn't matter how long it takes. Let me keep going.
Keep going.
Human intelligence must initiate into the pyramidal functions of light, consciousness, before they can advance to the next ordering of evolution or the next conscious time cell. When we move faster, near-death experiences, we're moving from one conscious time cell to the next, one that's a little faster than the one we're in. That's why it seems like everything is slowing down. And it just doesn't seem like it. It is slowing down. The more higher you get into the spirit. When I almost had my near-death experience, in a fraction of a second, I was told it did it. All in the frame. I heard it. It said, this is what you need to do. It did it while it was telling me. Boom, 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 boom. I can't really say I did anything when I was moving the clutch because I was going to drive into, we were skidding on rocks and we were going to drive into this lamppost coming off the highway at 80 miles an hour speeding. And everybody thought we was dead. And the spirit said, oh, and I said, this is the only thing I remember saying. And it's funny, Jazzy always says it. I said, spirit, don't kill it. And this is what I want to know, Jazzy. Who was I talking to?
Right.
Think of this, Miss
Right.
V. Who the hell was I talking to? Because they answered. Yo, don't kill everybody in the car. Don't do that. I'll take the life. You got me. Take my shit. I'm done. But at least save the rest of the people. And as soon as I said that, the spirit did turn the wheel, put it in third, hit the gas, boom, 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 and we were saved. But I can't say I did it.
That's the whole concept. What greater love has no one to lay down his life for a friend. That's a concept that I got that from the church growing up. It's just like,
I think it was more of an initiation for me, a test for me. All right, is he going to be initiated to whatever initiation I needed to be in to know what I know now? I think that was a prime thing, even though nothing really acquired immediately after that.
No, you know what happened? It made you responsible.
Facts. That never happened again. I was never that close being crazy with my life. Yeah, you're right. Facts.
It made you, and not only that, it made you responsible now that you know you can't hold that knowledge. Now you have to tell it.
Now it all makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's the whole thing about how we say you can't look back once you know you.
There's no backwards once you know, right? Spiritually.
So spiritually, now that you've seen that and you've seen the spirit work, you're responsible to go ahead and let somebody else know that. That's part of your responsibility.
But
now
a lot
is
of
what
the
you do with
spirit
it.
actually, a lot of the spirit actually works with conscious development. You have to see it and know it while it's happening. That's what makes it powerful. You know what I'm saying? So you telling someone about it. No, you can. But me telling someone about what happened to me and that shit happening to them is two different realities.
It is, but the whole thing is they can relate.
You would hope.
Oh, they heard the same voice, but did you answer?
Facts. Well, there it is. Well, I can't say I answered. I surrendered. And I think that was the power of surrender. I surrendered and said, you know something? I am at fault. It is my fault. Please don't cut these other people's lives short. I know they're here to learn something and got a job to do. Don't do that because of me. No, take me, cut me up, chop me up, do what you gotta do.
But you know what it also did? There was a lesson that learned not just from you, but those passengers in the car too. They
Everyone.
seen this. They seen the same thing what you seen.
And heard what I heard.
Now to be disobedient to that part of yourself, that's where you sin.
Yeah, but the miracle, you know, the energy came through the car. Everybody felt it. I don't give a damn what they say.
No,
We
no,
all
no. I
heard each
agree.
other's thoughts.
Hmm.
Everyone was like, oh, and each voice, everyone's different voice. You can hear what they were thinking.
Right.
Oh, we're dead. And then I heard, oh, this nigga done killed me. This nigga done killed me. So I'm telling you, it ain't all creams and roses when the spirit be talking to you. Some things you don't want to know. And I heard that. I was like, wow. No, I
But not
didn't.
not
Don't
only
do
did you
that.
hear it, is they heard it too.
But see, no one actually said what they heard.
Oh, believe me, they heard it.
Besides Scoop, no one else ever actually said what they heard. But I knew everybody heard the same voice.
Oh,
Or
and then
everybody heard our voices, even because once again, here we go. Here's the science behind it. The near-death experience pushed us into a higher time cell. So now time wasn't the same anymore. It's like when you're having fun or being bored. Nigga, the time we thought we went through in that fraction of a second could have been a minute in our mind. Because remember, time is irrelevant.
But that's what we was talking about too, is how to manipulate time.
How to manipulate time. Make time work
for yourself.
Facts.
Because it's truly not non-existent. And once you be able to tap in, and then you can go ahead and once you get to have a little knowledge of it, then you can go ahead and that's when you start, making it work for yourself. And that's where I'm at. That's
more and more.
beginning stage.
That's the step towards the spirit, 2 steps back towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Step to the spirit. Let me keep going. Man will see that he is a co-citizen, a co-participant in the star kingdoms, which are part of a cosmic pyramid, which is surrounded by the crystalline sphere separating universes from other universes. These crystalline spheres are in your brain. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
These crystalline spheres they keep talking about. My spirit is communicating. I think they're the 12 cranial nerves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
12 crystalline spheres that surround the pineal gland that activates us to hear, see, and be in other realms out of the physical body.
The 12 wise men.
Or the 12 zodiacs,
the 12
the 12,
zodiac,
the 12 apostles, the number 12, breaking it down. All right. Okay, so spiritual vehicles of light, right, will be dispatched in the grids of the pyramidal light patterns that will receive these vehicles and that will come as a capstone activating the centers of conscious light. This process of transforming human evolution to co-participate with higher evolution. This is why our chakras must be developed. That capstone represents that pineal gland, all 7 chakras activated, that activates the 8th chakra that's outside the body. That activates the 9th chakra. These are our other bodies of light. They have nothing to do with physical phenomena. There are bodies of pure and pure light. It's called the atom cabinet. Let me keep going. So we've just sit here and talked about all these intermingled, the paradise sons, the council of light, the Elohim, the Father's universe has so many entities in it. The Spirit's universe has so many, the soul, mom's universe, the son's universe. So now we're going to break some of this down. This is the process of, all right. Thus, the mother's universe is transforms the basic building blocks of intelligence out of the sea of the eternal into the presence of the Father. The sea of the eternal would be that darkness, all that darkness out there. All right. The Shekinah universe or the mother's universe is the substratum for the sun's universe, meaning the sun's universe cannot exist without the mother's universe or the spirit's universe. The sun's universe consists of programs of creation and evolution directed by the paradise sons in combinations with other intelligence and combinations of intelligence from gross matter to pure light. So these paradise sons are so high up, they coordinate what type of intelligence goes into what type of physical body.
Mm.
All right? This is what I'm trying to tell you, how infinite and eternal, how this shit is so wide open. You got deities and consciousness at every level of creation. The Urantia book. It'll open your mind. It will never be closed once it's opened.
So for those that are that may be listening, there how you have angels and Damians and demons, and break that down all in part of you.
Okay. You have entities that are non-physical entities that feed off physical energies. They are very lowly creatures. They feed off low energy, low vibration. Okay. That would be your lowest chakra.
Mhm.
As your frequency for love, capital
Capital L
capital
O
L,
V E.
light, capital L, love and consciousness. That's what that light is. When you're dealing with consciousness, it's light. Love and light. The more you fill yourself with light and light, the more you change your frequencies from a low frequency of me to us to they to all. Just paraphrasing real quick.
Moving up the
Some of
chakras.
us can't make that transition because we're too concerned with what looks good, feels good, tastes good, sounds good, smells good. I know I say it a lot. I say it because it's killing us.
The five sugars.
Literally.
Mhm.
In our thoughts, in our emotions, what we eat, what we do, it's killing us. So when you're on those low vibrations, your heart chakra is not developed. Remember, the heart chakra got 4 chambers, 2 to go back down, 2 to go up.
Mhm.
When it's developed, all 4 chambers are working. Now, all the energies from your lower chakras are now in the heart, and they are transduced or changed or transformed through your love and go back down to the lower chakras to energize them properly without it being about me or hate or money or jewels. Then the other valves go up and activate your higher chakras of your throat, your mind, your soul.
Inner ascension.
Right. So when you're at a certain level, I do not worry about demons, Damians, low vibration. They can't come near me. My energy's too high. Shit, my own people can't come near me because I'm so high up. You understand what I'm saying? And I know because I see them when we're talking right now. Here's where it gets crazy. We're talking right now, but Miss Visa's ancestors are listening to everything that's going on. Your ancestors are listening and mine. And all of them are getting downloads from where they were when they were in the physical. Because they're connected to us.
So I want to like when we were talking about Christ on the Mount, when he's looking down and then said, "Look, I can everything that you see that you can have, you know, it's like you can go ahead," and he said, get behind me, Satan."
Uh-huh.
Basically, the biblically way, if you learn through the churches, is just like, he defeated Satan on the mountain by saying that, because they make a little joke in church. They say, well, he's like, how can you give me what I already have? You know. so but the part that
But that's only after you determine that what looks good, feels good, tastes good, sounds good, smells good cannot offer you anything. As long as that can offer you something, you're always going to be tempted by the physical. Always.
how me and you talk about it is just like, you know what, he never destroyed them.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He just said, get
Why?
behind me.
We said that because the lower energy chakras are necessary. When we just read that you have to have all 7 chakras activated. And then I just told you how you activate the lower chakras properly through love, not through wants, desires, and needs. You see what I'm saying? It's it's so complex. It's so simple. This shit is crazy, man. It's chaotic. It's chaos, but it's organized. It only looks like chaos to the unlearned. All right, let's keep going. So quickly, now we're going to get into centropy. Again, you have different populations. So this earth can go from population 0, meaning we don't know nothing about the spirit, we're in the realm we're in now, to population 1. Oh my God, we're part of a greater cosmic community. So we step up. It's 9 steps. It's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, going all the way up to 9. Then you progress over into the out the physical altogether. That's a whole different story. I'm just breaking it down so you can understand where I'm at. So in order for when evolution reaches out to the next initiation points, its wavelengths of light, new wavelengths of light can be projected through triangular coordinates through the process of the brotherhood of higher population 2 systems, continually perfecting the programs in all interterry creations on this side. In order to put man into the building blocks of the pyramidal geometries and triangular coordinates of the pyramids of light, we have the keys of consciousness of light. Centropy, the electrification of matter, specifically in a material function. Light being the highest amplification of centropy. Here we go. In our mind, light functions as masers, microwave amplifications by stimulated emissions of radiation. This is a projection through the photoneurons, which are quantum mechanical corpuscles of light working by means of photo amplification, meaning your mind produces centropy. It's this amplification. It's or microwave amplification by stimulating emissions of radiations. Your mind moves off centropy, right? The body runs off entropy, the decaying of matter, shit getting old, rusty, and dying. All photons are in step. That is, they are reinforced by the same frequency molecules, mental energy into physical energy. So it's saying that from the mind and this centropy, all photons are in step. When you think a thing, things start to become more concrete. All right. Once you keep thinking it a lot, you concentrating on a lot, it starts to manifest. All right. That manifestation starts to imprint on the physical realm. This is how meditation works. This is how thinking and concrete thinking works. All right. All photons are in step. They are reinforced in the same frequency that molecules of mental energy get turned into physical energy. Now the essential, this knowledge, in essence, this knowledge can be used to fix the formula which can explain how light creates quantum corpuscles of light in the brain that allows the brain to work as a computer. Okay, so our brain works off these flashes of electromagnetic energy amplification coming from our thoughts that are immaterial.
The original computer.
Right. That are immaterial. And this scheme is one where entropy cradles entropy. Centropy cradles entropy, and much as a broader aspect of defining and relating to matter and energy and parameters of a single AKG. Entropy is a subset of centropy. Centropy being treated in a metagalactic ordering. So it's telling you that energy and everlasting life, right? Entropy, death, and decay is a subset of everlasting life, meaning we're all going to live forever. There is no such thing as death. Right on the other side of entropy is everlasting life. It's the squaring of the circle. The circle would represent 360 degrees of the creator's plan for things, right? Now I can still get 360 degrees by putting a square inside the circle. That inside of the circle would represent, if you square it off, it would represent earth, water, air, fire.
That's Masonics use.
And that's how you break down into becoming a physical creation and a physical being and feelings and this and that and this and that. Right. They call it the squaring of a circle.
Circle, right.
Right. See, I know all that's only a 33rd of a third, bro. They ain't even got all the shit. Don't get it twisted. Okay? They ain't even got all that. I think Brother Panic, Bobby Hammond used to say that all the time. They ain't got all the shit because you're only reading books that another person has told you. When the spirit is telling you to go get this book, go read this book, go get this book, that's a total different reality. Totally different. All right, let me keep going.
I ain't trying to. No disrespect, Miss Bisa.
What happened?
I ain't not giving.
No. Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying. No.
Because I got a good talking to about that, and I was out of there.
Oh, about the squaring of a circle?
No, about the order when I was in there.
Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. Got you. Well, did what I'm saying make sense to you? Does it bring clarity and understanding?
Yes.
Because it ain't over, because look, we about to talk about it a little more. Thus, centropy is the fundamental relationship which quantitatively, that's not a word, quantitatively categorizes all matter, energy, interactions, and interrelations. Did you hear that? Centropy. What we do, right, is the fundamental relationship. Number one in the cause and effect that quantitatively categorizes all matter, energy, interactions, and interrelationships. Man must consider himself part of a larger ionized field of intelligence operating as a part of these interrelationships. Yet, since he is more than a host of linear unity of centropy, meaning more than the body, more than the mind, more than the spirit, more than the soul, since he is more than a host of just linear entropy, meaning entropy on this side as energy, that potentiality for converting centropy to zero, reaching a point of pure energy. He can break the energy matter construct through certain forms of mind expansion. I messed that up. Let me read it again. Yet, since he is more than a host of linear unity of centropy, as an energy potentiality for converting centropy to zero. When you convert centropy to zero, you reach a point of pure energy, pure consciousness. He can then break the matter-energy construct through certain forms of energy expansion. These principles show that the universe and we are rebuilding itself as it's breaking itself down into new geometries of consciousness to continue in time cells of higher evolution or even lower evolution if you're coming from the high to the low or the low to the high. So the only difference that changes us from other entities of consciousness is our time cell that we're in. We're in a lower con cell. We're in a physical meat body concept, the lowest. But our mind is able to go beyond this meat suit, back into who we are and what we are, to bring divine energy back into the meat suit.
All right. Okay. So let me go ahead, Ms. Bisa.
So you said centropy to zero.
Right.
Is what?
When you convert centropy, the electrification of matter, to zero, you enter what's called pure energy.
Okay, I don't know why that equals. I wrote that centropy to zero equals. I heard death.
It equals pure energy. Well, it is death because it can break the matter energy construct through certain forms of mind expansion. When you do that, you are dying to the physical. You're dying to it because you're opening up to what's real. You're leaving behind what looks good, feels good, tastes good, sounds good, smells good. That shit is deadening to you now. It doesn't have the effect it had before.
That would be death to the ego.
Death to not no. The ego has
That
a
has a place
reason.
too, right? It has a place,
Death
but
to the ego controlling. Remember, everything in us is meant to be controlled by us. It is if not controlled by us, it'll cause a problem to us. Ego is a part of us. When the ego goes
self.
rampant, it's a problem.
So
When
there's
it's controlled, it gets behind me like Jesus told the devil to do. Get behind me, ego. You know your place.
So it's like you said, ego has a place, but it's the ego self that you, because that's operating as straight self at that point.
Well,
right?
it's when the ego is doing more than what the ego should do.
That'd be ego self.
That'd be egocentric.
Self, right? Okay.
When it's functioning at a higher level than it should not be functioning, it's causing problems in your life.
And that's when you bring death to that part of it.
You bring death to that. I got to kill the ego. It's hurting me.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't kill it for saying to never use it. You still have an ego, but now it's under total control. Death to a thing just means total control, balance. I still use it. I still care if someone spits in my face or slaps me in the face, but that don't mean I'm gonna act a certain way that an animal would act. You understand what I'm saying? Even if I act like an animal, I mean, I don't know. There's no way to really. There's no right answer to it. Because if you think before you act, you're always in a better place. Even if you think and be like, no, this nigga deserved to be smacked.
Every cause has a reaction.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's go through. So, rebuilding itself. All right. These principles show how the universe is rebuilding itself as breaking itself down to categorize into new geometries of consciousness to continue into time cells of higher creation or lower creation. We understand then that all functions of electrification of matter, here we go, it's key. We understand that all functions of electrification of matter energy, as well as decay and negative spins of energy, bring space, time, and matter through the pyramid of light as a dimension of energy conversion, whereby the mind, what reaches out? The mind reaches out to the Illuminaries, meaning reaches out to the higher essence of itself. This process allows physical man to leave behind the laws of entropy and join the unity with other intelligence who exist in other energy fields serving the light. We move off of entropy into centropy. These bodies of light. Evolution to the higher intelligence involves a deeper understanding of life as a multi-dimensional evolution where individuality does not count, only the continuality of the human species. This means that all 7 chakras must first be working in perfect harmony and complete alignment with the template of light. Then the 8th chakra, the conscious connecting link with the overself, the higher you, working with the Christ energy body of light. Once man has gone beyond his physiological limitations of self and desires and only serve his fellow creation and the Father, he purifies himself of his carnal predilections and manifests as pure love, significant to receive the outer garment of light. It's significant for you to move up off this physical realm altogether. I don't know what else to tell you. That kind of pretty broke it all down to you. But how many of us are trying to activate the 7 chakras? See, this is where monks, where they go off in seclusion and only work on themselves. This is where it's different. We're supposed to go off in seclusion and work on yourself to bring it back to the people.
That's where they went ahead and they go in the mountains and they fasted for 40 days.
But they don't help the people. That's why at some point, what do they got to do in their journey? They got to come down to the people. That was the whole, not samurai. What was that monk? They used to have a television show. Oh, I can't remember. Kane. His name was Kane. Oh.
Kung Fu?
Kung Fu. It showed that he went to the temple. Now go out. You've learned all the lessons you need. Now enlighten the people. Then when you finish enlightening the people, if you want, you can come back. But It's what it's basically saying is nothing you've got is for you and you alone.
He became a nomad.
Right. Traveling all around, enlightening the people, helping people, fixing things. All right, let's keep going.
Christ's energy. Yeah.
Now we're moving on to the next chapter. This is going to get quick. It says to the keys of our astrophysical time zone is the 3 and the 1. Here we go. The many and the 1. The alignment, the Trinity. The conscious time zone is the 3 and the 1. The alignment of conscious forces in the Great Pyramid. Remember the pyramid, 3 and the 1. And the 12 and the 1 energies. 12 energies around the cranial nerve, around the pineal gland. Wow, I thought this would go a lot quicker, but it is not because it is so deep. So let's go. No, I just thought it'd go quicker. The key is speaking directly to the conscious programming. It is telling us that conscious programming is connected with the Great Pyramids. The conscious forces of the Great Pyramids are cued with specific star points with work with planetary star warps. Now, before I get into this chapter, I was just reading the chapter behind this. Our pyramids are not working because of the fallen. When we fell, our pyramids ain't working. So a lot of this is just telling you how they would work on a earth that was working with the Father.
This
working
goes
with
into
the
what I
Son.
was asking earlier. This is going down what I was asking earlier. Because talking to the when I was asking about how does one talk to the part that's inside of them. This would sound like what it's leading into. From what you just read that again. Read that first part again.
So this key is under okay. So the key to the astrophysical time zones in the 3 and the 1, the Trinity, and the alignment of the conscious forces of the Great Pyramid with the 12 and 1, the 12 cranial glands around the pituitary, the pineal gland, are the energies of the time warp centered and the controlled by the many and the 1. And the throne energies of Orion in play. Here we go. The many and the 1 again.
Right.
Here we go again. The time warp centers. When time is moving slow, you've time warped to a higher frequency. So everything has a reason for what's going on. Ain't anything, nothing is a miracle. Miracles are just something we cannot explain.
Right.
Okay? So then it says, it is telling us that the consciousness, this key is speaking directly in conscious programming. It is telling us that conscious programming is connected with the Great Pyramid. The conscious force of the Great Pyramid is cued with specific star points, which are working with planetary time warp areas. All right. All right. So then it goes on. These central threshold controls of Orion and Pleiades are regions of positive reprogramming used by the Elohim lords to connect the many galaxies to the Father's universe within our galactic quadrant. Though the energies of Orion, the central threshold, and the higher beings of light move across the waters of the deep. That's where you get it in the Bible, where the waters of the deep. These are the energies of Orion within the galactic quadrant. These threshold controls are necessary to coordinate celestial navigation between universes. Through the energies of Orion, the central threshold of control, the higher energies of light move across the waters of the deep. Pleiades is a cluster of the time center of the propagation of light, meaning the progamy, the birth of light. Pleiades is the measurement for all key time clocks. That's the precession of the equinox. And all astrophysical templates that these time clocks on Earth are located. All right, let's go down. Enoch explained to me how the brother of the light first thought to upgrade. Now, this is key. This is what we were talking about before. Enoch explained to me how the Brotherhood of Light first thought to upgrade the intelligence upon this planet eons ago, and that this is the first attempt in recent cycles took place in the Tolka Malkan desert within the civilization of the Ta was evolved about 30,000 years ago and reached a vast area that man now knows as South America. These great cities were built and seeded with great technology of the heavens so that man would directly call upon the name of the Lords of Light. And the bodies that were of great light and light of molecular density. So he's talking about the Mexico going down the pyramids in Brazil, in South America, talking about what happened, why they were there. This is why they were there. Now listen, this is key. After this, the experiment ended in disaster. The people of light intermarried with the fallen spring of the lords of light. So you had Elohim coming down to create Elohim business. Then you had fallen lords of light that fell from high places, that fell down to earth in physical bodies. So the experiment ended in disaster. The Lords of Light intermingled with the fallen offsprings of the Lords of Light. Another experiment was generated in the area known as Atlantis. However, this ended in failure due to into the mixing of the genetic codes and factors of light from the fallen access Lords of Light, who used their crystalline technology to bring great civilizations of capital L conscious light into war and destruction. The last attempt to generate high genetic people took place during the Egyptians about 6,000 years ago with the people of Israel, where we're planning to upgrade the people of the world by bringing the message of Jehovah and the UAWA to the kingdom of light to all the nations. So it's talking about Egypt.
So let me ask you this. The third of the angels that fallen to earth, when you read that. Okay, so is that what they talking about? The ones that fell down into the physical bodies?
When Cain killed Abel and went to the land of Nod,
there was other people.
The fallen angels was already over there.
Okay.
That's why he said they're killers over there.
Because it's like they would kill me if I go. And it's like that was one of the key things for me in the beginning. Was like
that's when God said, "I'm gonna put this mark." And what he was just saying is, "You're from me. Leave him alone.
Where do those
You're of my tribe. Leave him alone." That's all that's saying. The mark.
So those were the fallen ones. So you go on throughout history, ancestral wise and everything. Who are those people?
Well, you got to remember, you already had people on earth. The pygmies was already here. Then the fallen came. The fallen took the daughters of the ones that they thought were beautiful. Boom. Then they had kids. Then the Elohim came down. And they started intermingling with the fallen and the 12 people kids. That's why I said it ended in destruction. Then they had another creation, and this ended in destruction. The Atlantis. So you had the Pleiades, the Pleiades, then you had Atlantis. Pleiades before Atlantis. Then you had Atlantis. Both of them ended in destruction.
Well, where the flood fit in?
The flood would be one of the reasons why how they would restart everything.
So that can be a symbolization of every time it restarted.
Or you got to remember, I just said the earth has been used for physical creations for millions of years. It's a cycle. It's just a cycle. Some creations come out unscathed. Some get fallen interception codes and be fucked up. Go ahead, Ms. Visa.
No, I'm just agreeing with you.
Right. So, once again, then we're going to move off. So, the Great Pyramid is built at such a point where the magnetic fields of the earth and those on the surface of the earth and those on the celestial fields all across the fields are all in alignment. This magnetic fields aligned through areas of magnetic energies mark the points where energies from outer space pour into the Earth's surface. These areas are balanced off through the magnetic north and south pole. And at the time when tremendous solar flare movement and the bombardment of magnetic points of the Earth will be set to cataclysmic imbalance spinning of the shell. The Earth shall have magnetic meridians which will find their balance in the equatorially. This is what you just talked about. One age has ended. Now we're redoing everything, shifting the earth, everything, reseed it. Let's see what fights out of this in the next 52,000 years. See what I'm saying? Stop thinking that we're just the first. No, we're in the many of a long line, and the long line are connected to us because we have lived in that cell before. We aren't finished. Either you're not finished, your continual spiritual growth, or you're here to help your brothers finish theirs. That's the only reason you're down here. Only reason you're here.
So, do you believe, I can't say believe because you know, or do you don't? However, um, some humans, this human form, have tapped into things to go ahead, rather it been through witchcraft or um, a deity or some form to enhance certain things, their skills or levels of
I'm gonna
human.
say it once, and I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna continue saying it. There's only one way to enhance self,
Mhm,
and what is it through?
mhm.
Capital L
The
love.
outline, yeah,
That's
right.
it. Any other way you're enhancing self, you may gain power, but the power is detrimental to who you are and what you are.
So like I asked this because the story about the one guy. He was at the crossroads and he picked up his guitar and then he says that
Hmm.
he gave his soul. He made a soul with the devil or whatever to go ahead and make him
Mhm.
one of the.
That would be
So
more or less, I'm gonna give you, you can use my energies during this lifetime.
that's what I'm asking.
That's about it.
Did they make an interchange or some kind of with a demon or
No,
a spirit or
the problem is,
Right.
yes, they get granted things, material things, wealth, maybe, the things of that nature. But when it
Mhm.
comes time for that person to pay the price,
Right.
that's when they don't want to do it because they never thought it would be this type of price to pay,
So it's
to get,
so
to have, or to keep what they need to keep.
what I like to know is that a part of you tapping into another part of your mind, or was it actually a spirit or deity?
Only in the last days and time do you have spirits that are enabled to come in to actually be like, yo, bro, you do this for me, I'll do this for you.
That
Okay.
has happened. It hasn't happened.
Only because the energies are intermingling. The spiritual energies are getting more powerful. Things of fantasy are becoming true. You can see Matrix is glitching. The sunspots, the solar flares, the sun's getting dark. All this is part of the manifestation of the new earth and the new heavens. That's all this
So
is. The changing of the guard.
no, I'm asking though, is that a part of that they tapped into a part in their mind, or did they actually go ahead and experience it outside of mind? That it was
It's in the
something.
mind.
Everything's in the mind.
Everything's in the mind. I can't say it enough. Everything's in the mind. This meat suit is worn by your mind,
Hmm.
your spirit, your soul, all inhabiting the same thing.
So
That'll be
so
the
people
Trinity.
so people that's saying that they experience a demonic activity, this, that, or whatever, or they came across a deity or something, that's part of their mind that they allowed, or did they actually
It's a
physically go
part of
ahead?
their mind or something they actually did in another incarnation.
Mm,
Remember, everything that goes on, we're meant to learn from. That's why we're in a world and not of it. This world
mhm,
is safe. I know it seems like killing and murder and rape and all that is such a horror. It is in the physical form, but we never were in the physical form.
mm,
That's why
It just,
Bobby Hemmett said it's a series of events that never existed.
mm.
just
That's
like
what
the
Panic said. Panic used to always say, I didn't commit those sins or anything because I'm not here.
I'm not
It's not
here.
me. It's
This
not
is
me.
not me. This is the representation of me. But this ain't me.
Mm,
The real me don't eat, don't drink,
mm. So he
don't
said,
breathe air,
I have
don't
not
breathe
committed those
air,
sins
don't need
because of.
knowledge, don't need to learn, don't need no medicines, don't need no people. The real me,
Mhm,
self-sufficient,
mhm.
runs off love. All I need is love to maintain myself. Once we get to that level, all things can be known to us.
Which was you had something you wanted to say, Mr. Bisa.
I was saying like the when you was asking your question and you was like, what is this outside of you? If it's in your mind, I was like, look at that. Look at the situation that happened with you with the car.
Hmm.
That's the same type of analogy. It's the same
Same
thing.
thing.
You experience it, but when you saw time slow down, everything is an experience in your mind as you're going through it, but you
Hmm.
can look at it in the same way. Every aspect, like when you dream about someone else too, they always say that person or that entity that you're dreaming about is another aspect of you.
Hmm.
Facts.
So the people in your accident that you had that had the accident when that situation occurred with you, they're all
Hmm.
part of your story. There's so it's a connection to you. It's like a twofold. That's the polarity that we in.
Okay.
So I said, look at the polarity that we in and be able to discern what is of you, what is not of you, but of you. You feel me?
Okay.
That's the
Ain't
code.
it strange,
Hey,
Miss Visa? It's hard to even talk about.
It is.
hey,
It is.
hey, we're gonna have to finish next week because we've been out here 2 hours.
I
But
know.
hey,
And
but
I'm right. Look, I'm right. Oh well, I'm right at the point. But for us to go into the next thing, whew, let me finish off real quick with this last seed. So,
okay.
at this point in our conscious time zone, the celestial lords of light will come back in the order of the galactic command. Now, remember, when they say come back, when they say anything, this is all energy within the mind. It has nothing to do with a physical person going, coming anywhere.
Okay.
This is all energy that's activating us for a higher frequency. So now we see things that we did not see before.
Okay.
They will deliver the seed and the seeds of other nations who wish to be coded in the galactic tree of the living light in the paradise mansion worlds of the Father. So when you hear that, there's many mansions in the Father's world. In fact, there's infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those who accept the Christ seed, Buddha seed, Muhammad seed, Zen seed, any of the Lords of Light will have within them an active channel of light that will allow them to function on the atomic race upon other planetary worlds in other universes. The world that they will inherit will depend upon the maturity of the soul and the way they have evolved the capital L light, conscious light function within them to serve their fellow creations. The Galactic Command, it will be able to take physical creation and energize its body into the atomic structure of the great conscious brotherhood. No matter what race or group, the crystalline fields of the 12 Urim and Thummim will be open, will be cleansed, and the scroll of Revelation says we will be with the great energy throne in the midst of the earth.
Galactic. That
The
term
great throne,
galactic.
right? That great. Remember, we're in the solar system. There's the center of our solar system is pure. Then that's around a greater galactic system. The center of the galactic system is pure. That's rotating around a greater universal system. The center of that is pure. But on the edges, we have experimentation of conscious evolution. Us, humans. So I'm trying to just give you this picture of how big shit is. Not limited to our small minds at all. All right, that's it. We'll start off next time on the universe's creator out of love synthesis and the next ordering of Pleiades in the cradle and the throne energies of our consciousness. But before we go there, any questions or anything that you want to talk about what you heard? Miss Visa.
No. No. Oh, it's right now on time. No, just basically, I just want to keep up so where I know where I am when we start next week. But I'm still trying to grasp the century to zero pure energy.
Not trying, you grasp
transformation. Huh?
You're not trying, you grasp.
That's what you do when you go to the bush. You turn centropy to zero because you can imagine anything and everything can be a part of your world at that point.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because remember, centropy to zero just means the electrification of matter. You electrify it to the point where it's no longer matter. It's now conscious of itself. That's pure light. Pure light is conscious light, meaning it's not just a light source. It's giving you consciousness and energy, downloads. You're feeding off its energy. And when that energy becomes you and your eye be clear and your body be full of light, others feed off of your light.
That's the thing where you go ahead where you say that how people say they're eating your energy.
No, it's just the opposite. Your light is free and willing. You give it freely and willing. Now you have some that say, ooh, I'm gonna try to steal the light. But it's not that light. This type of light, capital L light, cannot be stolen. It can't be stolen. In fact, it would do the opposite. It would make them run away.
But I was thinking along the lines when he said feed off the energy, like when you're naive or innocent or green in your energy, and you have people who come around to manipulate
energy of vampires
and to be in that energy or try to pretend they're not in your, they will try to pretend. Like, for example, being a lead person at your job, but you have people that, you know, really jealous of you or whatever your position may be. They'll come around and be nice, just so they could get you to help them to get what they need to be done.
Right.
You know,
Right. Feeding off your energy. They know you're a nice person. They're going to ride you to wherever they can get you from.
But you gave that energy to them willingly, but yet they still could not take from you.
But the key is, now they might be only because the person is naive to his energies.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The only time anything can be taken is when a person is not conscious of the exchange. I used to never be conscious of the higher energy I used to exude. I didn't know.
And that's back to what we said in the beginning, that everybody not like you. So we operating and we just going along being ourselves on the outward. But I realized that a lot of people are not comfortable actually being who they are. And when you're the type of person that can actually have the strength to be your authentic self publicly as well as at home, that's a threat. So,
so divinely we protect it anyways, right? So would that really matter if they tried to bite off or chew anything because you're protected anyways?
I don't think it's a matter of protection in those situations. It's
because
just a matter of awareness.
The reason why I ask, the reason why I ask is because if that's the case, if you don't walk in your light and your purpose, and you know, like we say, you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you fear no evil. So the thing is, if you're being innocently by being naive, or if you kind of consciously, because things don't matter until you pay attention to them.
Ignorance is bliss.
Right.
That's why ignorance is bliss, because you don't know. I can't fault Jazzy for something he did not know.
Right. But look at
I can only hold you accountable once you know, or you've been exposed to the truth and you make your choice.
You still got to go through whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Because the whole thing is you have to learn. But being spiritually protected, you know, through your you know, the God within, your ancestors, you have a field around you that's only going to allow so much to happen anyways before they start to go ahead and the weaponry start to go ahead and cut down.
But when you operating out of your innocence, your childlike energy, to me, for my realization that I came into, sin for me, if there is a thing, is when you deny yourself, or if someone attacks the innocence. To me, that's the only way when I realized how much I gave up who I was, that's going against myself.
Right.
If you do something innocently and somebody comes in and they takes advantage of you or tries to steal something from you, but you in your innocence, you don't even know what's going on. You
don't even know that they stealing.
Right.
A lot of times,
but you know what?
Listen, a lot of times people did things to me. I didn't even know they did it. I would just.
But you was made aware of what happened to them and shown why.
I don't know. What, repeat that?
Do you after innocently something, this, that, or whatever, and then the spirit didn't come to you and say the reason why this has happened to this person because of this XYZ, because it affected you?
You know what? I don't even see any of it, because a lot of times if someone was trying, say on my job, somebody was just after me, and I didn't even notice that they sneaked this in me in my face or throwing shade. I was so much into me, what I was doing, confident in what my role was and who I was, I didn't necessarily pay attention to what they were trying to do to me. So when something happened to them, I didn't care. I didn't pay attention to it because I was so busy.
The same pay attention when they was doing something is the same pay attention when they got in trouble. Okay, that was the spirit. Because you didn't pay attention to it,
that's what I'm
didn't let it affect you. We got this. You ain't gonna pay no attention to it. We got this for you.
That's what I was saying. That it activates.
And I'm realizing that people would come back even harder because you didn't give them that. That's why they say, "Oh, everybody not like you." Everybody's not like you. I had so much distance, and I didn't even know. I didn't pay you no mind. I'm so busy
People
trying to
now
get my
though,
work done,
where
be as professional as I can. I'm so busy working on me. What you doing? If I had to help you, sometimes fine. But I'm so in my own world. That's the naiveness that they
so
think
that's
is a weakness, but it's not.
so
Right.
so like what I tell y'all, like when I leave my home, right? I say, uh, divine spirit, protect my home, my children, my grandchildren, my children's mothers, my parents, my brother, my sisters, my nieces, my
Okay.
nephews, right? And then I say, as I travel, open up the roads, make it for safe passage, right? And then I say, as I get to work, those that have evil against me, turn the evil eye so that I may be able to see them argue amongst themselves. So, you know what I'm saying? So, the things that's working behind me, when I get there and then I see that they're like this with each other, and then it
But
just,
this is what you're not getting. It's not so much of that it's something outside of you working. It's you
mhm.
the whole time.
Right,
It's you
right,
the whole
right,
time.
right.
If you no, I'm seriously, I'm serious. Like
Okay.
you can say the protection around me, the things around me. Yes, we got our ancestors, we got
Hmm.
our angels, we got our ascended masters and teachers. Like I
Hmm.
say, panic around me. He's helping me and protecting me and encouraging me to grow. He would still tell me, nigga, I'm in your mind. I'm part of
Hmm.
you. That's you listen to me. So
Hmm.
be when you're doing any of that, you got to
Hmm.
really use your ego and really tap into that egoistic part of
There's
yourself.
where they thank you,
I
Miss
am
Lisa.
God. I
Because that's where
literally,
the ego counts, where you
Hmm.
need it. Say that again when you're saying tapping into the ego. This is where you
yeah,
need your ego.
yeah, yeah. When you really using your ego to say that I am God, and Khadijah said that to me too. She said her ego was so on 10, when you got into this, you got to really know when you saying protect my children, protect my house, protect my home, you tap to your higher source, which is your God
Right.
source, and
Hmm.
that brings in the protection because
Right.
all those deities, all that energy, they're here. That's why you
Hmm.
can take this, like I got this, found this at a shop, take this and make this an entity because it's in my mind. I say
Hmm.
this can be an
Your
entity
thought
Hmm.
form.
Hmm.
right? A
Hmm.
thought form.
It's just a symbol of your thought form. So
You're right.
Right.
no,
So you,
that's what I was saying though. Like when I go there and I say, turn the evil eye so that I may be able to see them argue
you
amongst
commanded
themselves.
it.
I
You
commanded
commanded
it.
it. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I actually get to see who's really doing the shit behind your back anyways. You see what I'm saying?
And
It's
it
just like,
always
So
give
look,
thanks.
what
And
I
that
would
gives
say is now you get to the point where you ain't got to say shit.
I remember
No,
Penn says,
I'm just the next evolution. I ain't got to speak shit.
Penn said, I
mhm,
don't know when the last time I burned a motherfucking candle, nigga.
I
mhm,
ain't got no altars no more. My wife took
mhm,
my altar. I ain't even put it back up because I
mhm,
don't need it. Everything is here now.
mhm. Yeah, it's
Everything's
all a
here.
mental. Everything is just like you said. What you
That is
did,
only
like
to remind you, and you
right.
walk by it, you get a spiritual reminder.
Hmm.
But every time I walked by it, I was conscious I was walking by it.
I'm
Hmm.
understanding.
You know
It's
what I'm
just like,
saying?
yeah, it's like
Mhm.
that when you walk, when you have that fence, like when you playing as a kid, then you run around the fence, and then that one little piece that stick out snag your arm. Then you know what I'm saying? Then you like, oh shit. But the next time you run by it, you already know it's there. So you automatically put enough space. You still play around it, but you know it's there. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So it's the same thing operating. It's just like you already know it's there. You don't have to go ahead, like you said, in your mind, and it's just a reminder. It's just like I had that happen to me. I was like, you know what? I know there's a chain up ahead. You already know. You know what I'm saying? So you still go about your way, but you use a certain amount of cautiousness because you
Yeah.
know.
Well,
You know
you
what I'm saying?
know better, do better.
You're better, right? Oh,
Hmm.
so I want to say one thing because I remembered I wanted to tell y'all about the Matrix, right?
Right.
So is this brother? I got to introduce y'all to him. I've been trying to get him on here for like forever. His name brother Haru. He posted uh a thing of Neo in the Matrix, right? So it showed Morpheus when they was walking through the crowd. You remember that scene where he was walking through the
Hmm.
crowd?
The lady with the red
He's like,
dress.
"Where are we?" He was like, "Where are we?" And then Morpheus was just walking straight, but everywhere that Neo was walking, he was moving around the people and everything. And then Morpheus is like, and he was explaining. He's like, what you're seeing you know, is a part of the Matrix, this, that, or whatever. And then Neo got distracted because there was a lady that walked by in a red dress. And then Neo turned around, and when he turned around, the agent was right there, and he had a gun to his head, and it froze. And then he was saying, he said, "Are we in the Matrix?" He said, "No, this is a simulation." He was just trying to show you that, you know, he said the moment that you go ahead and you're not, your mind is not basically
Focus.
spiritually open, you know what I'm saying? And that you turn around, he said they're working just as hard as you are. You know what I'm saying? And he was saying that, you know what, the thing is just that when you go ahead, and he said many agents have killed a lot of other people. He said, but you're the one. You're the one. He said, well, why me? Then he said, because what you have inside of you is going to go ahead and be able to help you defeat everything. I thought that was very powerful, you know, because it's just like, you know, when we look at ourselves, we say we guys within, you know, and that we highly favored, highly protected, all of that. And then, you know, so when you're going through your life, and then, you know, like those little things that you can be a little distraction, you have to realize that, you know, your focal point should be always here, your mind, and then your heart, you know, because the one little slightest thing is that agent that's standing behind you, you know what I'm saying, ready to take you out. I thought
But
that was just
it
powerful.
reflects the graph of life. Ain't nobody just going a straight line up. It's
Right.
like, but we keep going up, but sometimes there's them down slopes, but we still going up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Something very important that you need to know. Go back and listen to what the guy said to Neo, who created the woman in the red dress. They're gonna be sitting down talking, eating, and he's gonna tell him the purpose of her and why he did it. That's another aspect.
When they're in the white room, when they was in the white room, is that the part? Is that?
No. After that simulation that he did with Morpheus.
Oh, okay.
Talking to the one who created the woman in the red dress and why he did it, so you can understand the other aspect of your mind.
Distraction.
It's just another key factor that you might want to look at when you get a chance
go
to watch.
back. All right. I watched them all, but now that I watched that part, it just brought back another, you know. So like you said, now I'll go back and continue watching, because all you got to do now is just put in University or YouTube, put in the woman in the red dress, and boom, you know, and the Matrix, and then it'll come up, and then it'll have the continuation.
Well, all right, y'all.
Okay.
Thank you. Miss Visa, any closing words?
No, not really. Continue to grow, continue to study.
Right. Look, same old.
So nonchalant.
Versus mental.
So nonchalant. No.
I get so much here. I don't know.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot. I mean, and it just goes to show how much knowledge is out there. When people think, "Oh, I know it all," you don't know half or nothing. Okay, that much. Because knowledge only opens up knowledge to more knowledge. And when we're talking about spiritual off the physical plane, now we're talking about a whole new library. Ain't got nothing to do with the physical library.
That's what we were just discussing.
But it's all a part of it, what's in our minds, the Alaskan records that we already know. So we remembering, getting better. So everyone out there, like, subscribe, come back, peace, love, and gather love and light. And there's nothing that can stop you from meeting your destiny. Peace.